Hey, what's going on, guys? So let's go over today. We'll start with NQ as usual. So the big thing is we're going to put in a daily FEG here, right? We're going to put in a daily FEG. So after we close and London opens, London opens, expect a dip down into here, and then see how price reacts. I'm going to show you on the 4 hour a more precise area where I think we're headed to. You can probably guess it, but it's going to be a 50%. A 50% retrace of the run on Friday is what I'm kind of thinking. And you see, so we're gonna have a daily FEG. What happens? Kind of like here, we expect. We expected to take this high. You see, we took Friday's high. ES finally took Friday's high. Was a little bit slower, but finally took it today. And the big thing to take note of is the displacement over. So like whenever you expect price to keep on going, you want to see a strong displacement over the previous high. And you notice, we kind of just swept those highs and then went lower. It tells us price probably wants to push lower. And then there's 4 hour OBs and there's hourly FEGs that are kind of showing us that price also wants to move lower. So the higher time frame right now is setting up to be a little bearish, just because obviously the big move on Friday, it makes sense to pull back at least to 50%, kind of rebalance the market here, and then probably push back higher, especially because we got this daily FEG now. Remember, we still have daily OBs down here. We do still have the weekly order block sitting down here. Remember, the wick is down here at 18,120, so we could come all the way, down to there. We could even come down to the open of that candle down here to 1838. But this is what I'm looking at right now. So tonight, we're gonna dig into this daily. But this is what I'm kind of thinking. So obviously from Friday, big ol' a big 4 hour FEG we're trading in now. So this is where I think we're headed to. I think we're headed down here to 18,204. Puts us into that that hourly 50%. If we draw it on the hourly, you see, if we fill in a lot of these hourly FEGs, and then we look for some kind of move, some kind of confirmation long from here. So we're down here, then maybe we get like an order block, we get an FEG, we can come down, retest, and then look for longs from there. So it's what I'm looking for going into the night. So what I'm kind of thinking happens tonight is obviously a big move here, right? So what do we expect when we see price like this? We have a bunch of down candles in a row. What do we expect? We expect probably some kind of 50% retrace, right? So we could we could get some kind of move like this up to 290 tonight. Maybe with Asia or something. Maybe we don't have to. We could just go straight down here and then look for longs going into tomorrow. But it would make sense to fill in some of these. Also, take note, we left a lot of big targets up here. We left some some FEGs that don't have wicks that are usually targets. We have 15-minute perfect equal highs sitting up here at 346. These will be a target eventually, probably after 50%. So the best part about this dump is now we have nice targets to target on the way up. So what I'm kind of thinking tonight is Asia's going to do its thing, right? Asia's probably going to accumulate like it does. And then London's probably going to open up. I can see London, manipulating down. And then look what London does. London gives us 4 hour 50%. And then New York kind of gives us look, we have accumulation, we have manipulation down, just what London's supposed to do, and then New York can distribute us back to like the equal highs or something, and then we hit 4 hour 50%. The market's balanced, the daily FEG is balanced, everything is then ready to go. If we get no kind of confirmation long here off of London, maybe we get some kind of move lower with a New York. So maybe New York comes up and we take some kind of London highs, and then we push lower down to the weekly OB, to the weekly order block. I mean, that's a possibility too. That's why we'll wait and we'll see what the evening gives us. So not really making predictions, but I do want to see 18,204 before being confident in any more longs, as well as we do have this other hourly FEG sitting right here at 224, which I guess if you wanted to, you could draw your fib from this swing low to kind of push you right at that hourly FEG. But the best case is we get 4 hour 50%, and then we get some kind of move higher from there. So that's just what I'm looking for. Nothing to really watch tonight. Just look and see if we dial into, if we dig into this hourly FVG, and if we hit 50% here, and then we can possibly push higher from there. So other than that, price action today was pretty was obviously what we expected on a Monday. AM was pretty choppy, right? But the big thing, holding price right now. So this is one thing that I want to note. If you guys remember last week, what held price down all week? It was this hourly FVG, this hourly BPR right here, right? So remember how many times we had this last week? Look what's going on up here now. Pretty much the same thing. 1 hourly FVG is holding price. So we have the hourly FVGs, right? So remember those. This is just setting up for pretty much the exact same thing, except we're getting a little down move earlier, or we get some kind of move up. Overnight London, we get a 50% move up, filling them 15-minute FVGs, and we still chop, and then we wait for a Powell to really inject some volatility on Wednesday. Is also a possibility, because you see, last week we kind of got a down move here as well on Monday. So like I said, tomorrow could be up, some chop. So you just got to be careful. And then, obviously we ended up going down to this 4-hour FVG and PCE, and then we went back up. So we could be saving 50% for Powell, and then Powell sends us. So got to be aware of that. But the one other thing I want to point out is this 4-hour order block. We dug up into it twice so far. You see two rejections. Actually, we rejected here. I guess this candle formed it. So one rejection here, one rejection here, and then if you remember last week, along with that hourly FVG, look at this. We had that 4-hour order block here. And price kept rejecting it. So not ready to go bullish, full bullish until we start, showing strength through this 4-hour order block, or we hit 50%. And if we hit 50% when we start displacing up, we most likely push through it then. And then obviously the same thing with the hourly FVG as well. So it's the same thing as last week: 4-hour OB and 1-hour FVG holding price down. And what ended up happening? Yeah, they kept rejecting. Why? Because there was a target down to the downside. I think the target to the downside this time is 50%. Last week, remember, it was just this 4-hour FVG. We didn't quite hit 50%, but this week, there's not a bunch of 4 hours. We're already in the 4-hour, so it makes sense just to hit 4-hour 50% and then go back up higher here. And now we have, and the same thing as last week, we had a bunch of equal lows up here that we just could not take, and now we have the 15-minute equal highs up here. So it's literally playing out just like last week. Just gonna wait, find out. We'll see what the charts give us in the morning. The other thing, so yeah, I pointed that out. If you guys did not catch the dump today, pretty textbook. So we caught a long today. The long we took today was right here. So I told you guys to watch. Remember, we left these equal lows down here, right? We left these equal lows sitting right here, and then after lunch we came down and took them. And we tagged into this hourly FVG. And what happened after we hit that? We got a beautiful long setup. So our setup was, the time was right. We were after lunch. We took hourly equal lows. We hit the hourly FVG. So any kind of confirmation long setup we get in here, we absolutely take. What did we get? In TRT, we took this. So we took this 5-minute order block. We entered on the close of it right here at 18,300. Rode this. Obviously, we never gave us a reason to get out of this trade, and then we ended up trimming it at 312 at this high. We trimmed up here at 18,320. We trimmed at, and then the final target was 930. Was 930 open prices, which were sitting right here. So just remember, 930 target. 930 is always going to be a huge liquidity pool, and there's always going to be price sitting there, and then you see we end up delivering to 930, and then that's where the dump started. So if you weren't watching the dump, kind of a textbook short, right? So what happens? In hindsight, it looks great now. So yeah, we caught almost 50 points there, 52 points I think on the NQ long off the 5-minute from lunch. So when the dump started, obviously not best case because we left these 15-minute equal highs up here. But look at this. So this is the textbook short because you have this. So we we close below this low. What does this low mean? This is your break in structure. So any move up, any move up here should be some kind of like a 50% retrace back up, and then what? The FEG should hold. It should, you know, send price back down. You see it does, and then what happens? We dump more. We had equal lows here. You could have trimmed here. But look, we had more equal lows down here. Untapped a 1 minute FEG down here, and then we had low a day. So if you're looking to hold for that, great. You could have entered up here, right here as well. So obviously another leg down, and then look, you get 50% up. 1 minute FVG, and then just absolutely textbook price action to the downside here, and then you could have taken it and held for a low day here, and then obviously the little bit that happened here after hours. But that's pretty much it. That's what I'm looking for. That was today. Pretty good price action. Besides this AM was a little bit slower, but PM, like I said, if AM's bad, PM's usually gets better, and that's exactly what we got. ES, same thing. Daily FEG formed here. A much stronger than NQ this morning. NQ took Friday's highs first, but you know, ES finally got up there and took them. So ES is in this 4-hour FEG. I'm not going to draw it for you guys, but 4-hour 50% is sitting down there at that 51.23 level. Most likely NQ hits 204 first. So as long as one hits 50% on the 4-hour, price can absolutely reverse there. But just remember, same thing as NQ. We got daily order blocks down here, and then there is no weekly order block for ES because it already tapped into this one earlier. So this is kind of what could happen with NQ on the weekly chart, right? We could get some kind of move down to tap into the wick of this weekly OB if things get a little pretty hairy and we move down to a 121 here. So this is what I'm looking for. ES, NQ. Hope you guys have a great day. Had a great day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.